I'm very passionate about video games and video game design عموما and I like to incorporate that في كل حاجة أنا بعملها في الجامعة أو في أي عمل بشتغل فيه. I decided in hybrid media is the perfect environment to create a game because it combines visual, it combines audio, it combines interaction because you get to actually play as the character in the game وكده. It took me مثلا 5 weeks driven by this character. It took me 5 weeks to create a platformer and create the exhibition. Sound design, for the sound effects, I try to create sound effects that are very original to this character and the environment that he's in. I created the sound effects in order to be monogamous with this character. And I created them using synthesizers and samples.
I was doing a lot of filming of my friends as they were filming other things in the excursion and filming what they were filming, because in a lot of ways I have been disconnected from the world of Islamic Cairo. It has been in a way like forcibly separated from me, where I was raised in this bubble, and so in a lot of ways I am a tourist in my own country. And so it was about this experience, this disconnect between who I am and where I came from and the lived experience I have had.
بعد كده ابتديت اختار من الاصوات اللي انا سجلتها دي اشوف ايه الاصوات اللي هتركب مع الصوت، وبعد كده عملت تكوين بقى صوتي بالاصوات دي مع بعض، وابتديت اركب عليهم صوره وعملت مونتاج. الصوره طبعا اللي هي سكرين ريكوردينجز اللي انا خدتها من جوجل ايرث. وبعدين خلقت بقى تجربه افتراضيه، اللي هو لو حد سمع لبس السماعات وشاف المحتوى البصري هيبقى كأنه راح شارع المعز وعاش التجربه بتاعته.
To represent the olfactory, visual, and audio culture of the actual street. The maquette is inspired by the textile culture that exists in the Moise Street itself, because the Moise Street has one of our very few textile museums. So we went through and collected textile samples from the furniture makers and upholsterers in that street. We created a quilt where all of the CNC one-to-one accurate replicas of the Ministry of Tourism's maquette that's based in the Visitors Center. We cut all of the buildings out on CNC, and as we were staining the buildings, we used oud essential oils to also give that olfactory element to the culture. And we raised the whole thing on a base of mashrabiyya, which is a medieval Islamic Egyptian window style. The sound that emanates through the actual maquette is that of an organic soundscape that's based on the events that would usually happen in the street, which is people talking, cars passing through, and because there's so many cafes in that street itself, there's usually an Kulthum song playing through one of the speakers somewhere. And because there's so many mosques in that street, when one prayer call would start, the whole street just turns into an echo chamber.
Create an environment or a soundscape that transports you to an environment, and the environment that I chose for my final was السيدة عائشة. مسجد السيدة عائشة لما بيعملوا كل فترة كل شهر تقريبا بيكون في يوم جمعة بيسمحوا للعرسان الجداد يعني ان هم يروحوا يعملوا الزفة بتاعتهم هناك وكتب الكتاب وكده. This is a very traditional type of thing and people really value السيدة عائشة كمكان مقدس بالنسبة لهم. فأنا I sneaked into الويدنج ده علشان خاطر اخد لقطة الزفة منهم وهم جايين بمجرد ما بيوصلوا بالعربيات بتاعتهم لحد لما العروسة والعريس بيدخلوا ويكتبوا كتابهم وبعدين بيصلوا سوا كمتجوزين. I chose to create an immersive experience in the sense انه الكامب التنت اللي انا اخترتها is essentially حاجة من الحاجات الموجودة كتير قوي هناك and is featured very heavily حوالين المسجد وكمان جوه. فدي اول حاجة من اكبر الحاجات اللي شفتها. تاني اكبر حاجة كمان شفتها الانوار الكتيرة قوي اللي هناك اللي للمسجد واللي الطريق كمان للمسجد محطوط بيها من اول انوار العربيات لحد الانوار اللي المسجد اللي الناس بتدخل جوه لحد ما توصل على المسجد. having this experience was a very big part for me من أول الأنوار لحد الأصوات لحد التكستشرز اللي أنا بلمسها لحد المشهد and smells كمان. yes exactly.
So the main idea behind the exhibition is to communicate, of course, to the others, share experience, share ideas, projects, feedbacks. We are at the moment of sharing, global sharing, local sharing. Also, the topic of the exhibition itself is playing around the immersive experience type of projects. One of the most important projects we have in this exhibition is this historical Giza Zoo sound archives. It's basically an interface of an index of the last existing animals before the renovation of the Giza Zoo, the historical Giza Zoo. And we have like a graphic map of the existing animals, and basically you can, as you see, you can click on the animal's picture and you get information about it and acoustic recordings done by the students to this animal behavior.
I came up with the idea because I was reading one of Aristotle's older books, and it was talking about moral responsibility and whether someone is liable for their actions if they are aware of it or not. The process, some of it, like the backgrounds, were AI generated actually. I did run into a little bit of trouble because of that, because it was my first time experimenting with AI generated art. But it has been like a topic that inspired me, specifically with my bachelor's, like hopefully next semester. So it's a playable prototype, there's audio, and it's just a click and choose your own adventure sort of thing.
So my sound was related to Khan al-Khalil, and I wanted to use the voices in the background that we don't really pay attention to, and highlight them. So I brought the background noises foreground and the foreground noises background. These words actually are like when you listen to the audio, they're actually a huge part of the Egyptian identity. People apparently in Khan al-Khalil, people know each other, and they would always say good morning and good night to each other throughout the whole street. They know everyone. So it shows in how أصلا the identity of Egypt إن إحنا we're very even though the street is huge and there's so many people that everyone knows each other and they have daily conversations and it doesn't matter if we barely know each other, still we're a huge big family.
So we have mainly sound-based projects that started from field recordings and acoustic ideas, listening and recording, and then we moved to hybrid media projects where sound is an orbit for the inspiration. We are listening to our own selves, we are listening to our society, we are listening to our daily lives, and we are trying to come out with form of communication around these ideas and thinking together about how it would be presented.
بقالي فترة بفكر في موضوع التعبير عن الكالتشر، لأن الكالتشر بتاعتنا ده شيء مقفول عليه نوعا ما، وأنا بحاول أطلعه بره الشارع وأحطه في حتة تانية. خدت الشارع بالحاجة اللي بتحصل فيه بطريقة مصغرة حطيتها هنا، يعني أنت تقدر تقف في وسط الشارع تشوف إيه اللي بيحصل. فعندنا الناحية دي أنا خدت سيناريو واحد من سيناريوهات كتير قوي بتحصل في الشارع، إن الناحية دي اتنين قاعدين على المحل بتاعهم وهم قاعدين، بما إن الراجل دوت سنه كبير فما عندوش تليفون يقلب فيه في انستجرام أو أي حاجة، فهو قاعد بيبص على اللي حواليه. كل ما حد بيجي يمشي كأنه بوست صغير عدى، واحد عدى اللي بعديه بيجي اللي بعديه بيجي اللي بعديه بيجي، والناحية التانية كل واحد معدي بص على حياته ومستمر في يومه عادي.
about the fear of abandonment using a film called Good Will Hunting. The motion graphics and the shots وهاو المونتاج بيخليك تخش في الستيت اوف مايند الشخص اللي بيواجه كده through using a VR and the sound design. واخر بروجكت arcade soundscape انه المفروض يبقى زي بوكس الترا فايولت حد بيخش فيه وبيسمع الساوندسكيب بتاع المكان. الاركيد بارك بيخليك ان انت الريكوردينجز اللي انا سجلتها بيبقى من اماكن كتيره جدا وانتو ديتيلز ومن بره كمان. Through the sound design you make it feel as if you're playing a game but there is no actual games inside it.
الفكرة عندنا بدأت ان احنا الاتنين كنا باللينك مع بعض في حاجات، ان هو فكرة عدينا بظروف ان في ناس مثلا بتمشي من حياتنا او الناس اللي هي فكرة بيتوفوا او خصوصا الحاجات دي ما بتحصل فجائي بالنسبة لنا، ولقينا ان دي حاجة كل الناس يعتبر عدت بيها ايا كان، فدي حاجة as a design wise فاحنا مش بس دي حاجة احنا باللينك احنا بس بيها، لا ده احنا وعارفين ناس كتير قوي عدت بده.
هو basically هو ال five stages of grief. فعبرنا عن ده في الفيديو بكذا حاجة. عبرنا عن ده في الفيديو بكذا حاجة، وكمان قررنا ان احنا هنعبر عن ده بالستبس بتاعت الانستليشن نفسه.
I'm Lujani Sibai. I'm a media student. My project is directed by Dr. Magdi Mustafa. My project is basically an audio-visual experience. It's about the disorientation أو الارتباك الحسي اللي بيجي لأي حد when they go through like a certain خضة أو like a certain sleep disorder. This like a process usually happens through like subconsciously, but هنا في experience دي it's a unique experience عشان it happens subconsciously أو consciously like ما بين البنين according to how you're gonna react to the first part of the audio.
So this is basically how my mind looks. You're entering my mind and the conversation and how it feels when I'm having a conversation and an existential crisis. And there's an audio experience after the client watches the AR. They're gonna walk and they're gonna hear the audio about free will and if it really exists or not.
بنبدأ إن إحنا بعد فترة نبدأ ننسى صوته، نبدأ ننسى شكله، بنبقى فاكرين بس اللحظة نفسها لكن مش فاكرين الشخص قوي.
The main idea كانت actually came from the sound. I wanted to use the Dolby effect, بس use a tiny object or a tiny thing to create this huge effect.
And it's not a very common thing, and it's usually subjective, but it's based on the economic psychology that most Egyptian moms are working moms. So they don't really have the time to engage in that lap-based affection. Moreover, most grandmas tend to be retired, and their space is very visual, which helps them create longer lasting memories in children's developing brains.
في نفس الوقت عملت الكلام ده عن بالميوزك. جبت الميوزك من اول ما بدأنا الراديو خالص زمان في مصر لحد بقى ما دخل الانجليش ودخل بقى الحاجات اللي هي ويدز وكده. برضو عملت كده بالفيجوالز.
You look through it and you can see the inside of the cave and the forest.
The closer you get to it, the more you can hear the ambience and you can smell it. Each one has a different smell and different ambience.
So my idea was about the history of EDM or dance music. And I went for how the music developed through the eras. So I went for 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and then modern 2000s, and added like a lot of effects that that are compatible with the idea and the tracks. So I've been doing it for like 2 days, and it's different every time I do it. It's very different.
Absolutely.
And seeing people like just interacting with the visuals, interacting with the audio, and like dancing, taking pictures, taking videos. It made me feel happy, like seeing them, like enjoying their time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was.